Right. So today, I know there's a lot of newbies that have jumped on board, and they're struggling with Bridget's in, and they're struggling with their protein. It's a thing. Like hand on my heart, when I very first got a coach. Hey Bridget, when I very first got a coach, and I wasn't a coach myself, and my coach asked me to hit my target. I think I'm not going to make fibs. I think it was around 120 grams. And I thought this guy's off his mind. There's no way in the world that I'm hitting 120 grams. So what you guys are going through now, I promise you, when I say I was going through the exact thing. But just like anything, like I remember when I got my iPhone, I thought I can't get an iPhone, I don't know how to use it. And then all of a sudden it just gets easier and easier. Just like with anything, when your work systems like they change at work and they're like, oh, we're changing systems. I'd be that person that's having a full meltdown because I'm like, I don't grasp, even though I've got an online business, like technology for me. Oh, sorry, I'm just gonna pop you guys on mute. Uh, mute, mute. I'm an absolute nightmare with. But just like with anything, it gets easier and easier and easier the more you try. Now, listen, you've got to want to try because it's going to mean you having to take out. Now, listen, I do swear quite a bit. Don't take offense. I do swear quite a bit. But with your nutrition, those that are under 50 grams, respectfully, we've got a pretty shitty diet and we've got to start changing it. And you will start to feel so much better. Your journey will become so much easier when you can start to hit your protein intake. Now, I did say to most people when you very first start out, it's going to be a car crash for the first week. But remember, this program is about long-term change. So it's about you constantly applying what you're learning now going forward. Now, you can go back to your old habits of eating how you were before, but I guarantee all of you, from just one day or nearly 2 days of eating better, are feeling so much more energized, to having less cravings, you feeling less irritable, your mood is better, you feel better, you're carrying yourself better. Hunger is you're not feeling like you need to dip in and out of foods all the time because you're absolutely starving and you can't fix these cravings. And probably late night snacking as well. You don't get to the end at 8 p.m. at night and you're thinking, oh my God, I need to raid the biscuit tin. So there are so many different benefits of protein. And obviously, for as long as we can keep hitting our target, we'll continue to achieve our goal easier. I know it doesn't fix everything, but it makes everything a damn sight easier. So just everyone pop me in the Zoom chat. I'm hoping you know or can work out how to do it in the type box. Pop me in the Zoom chat. Have you hit your protein today? Yes or no? Yes or no? Where is my chat? There. Ah, right. I can get my chat up as well. Yes or no? Have you hit or are you going to hit your protein intake today? Excellent. Not yet. I don't know who iPhone is, by the way. Okay, Bridget, no worries. No, and probably not. Cool. Yes, cool. No, it gets easier. Seven to go. Okay, that's good. That's a good start. Now, one thing I always say to even my clients now, some of my clients that are still on board my team, I give them regular bollockings. Like, come on, let's start tracking ahead. Because one of the things that is going to massively help you. Now, I have a coach myself. I check in with my coach every single night and I have to report back with my calories, but I have to hit my fats, my carbs, and my protein and my calories. And every single night, I've got a timer at 8 p.m. that sets to my phone. It buzzes me, and I will track my calories for the following day. Why? Because it means it's done, and I just literally follow it. Now, I am very repetitive with my foods. I appreciate that's not for everyone, but the same dinners, literally, I have around two. I'll have the same breakfast, I have the same snacks, and I'll have the same lunches. And that keeps me in control because then what it will then do is mean I have more room for movement at the weekend. Let's just say if I did want to go out, I know where I stand in the week, so it makes your life easier. But one thing I do, as I say, 8 p.m., I will track all of my calories. And what I will do, and you can do it on here as well, on Trainerize, is copy and paste all of your foods over to the following day. So if you can start having a non-negotiable breakfast, for example, and I say breakfast because breakfast is the most important meal of the day. It kickstarts your metabolism, and what you start your day with will how your day will go. So if you can make sure, is tip number one, I've written down because I'm going to forget. Start your morning with 25 to 30 grams of protein. Because if we're starting our day with cereal, we're going to feel like shit. If we're starting our day with toast and jam, we're going to feel like shit. There's no protein in there. There's nothing substantial other than foods that we want as opposed to foods that we need. So by starting your morning with 25 to 30 grams of protein, it means we're ahead of ourselves because you're going to be chasing your tail. You're finally going to get to lunch and you're going to go, oh shit, I'm nowhere near my protein. Well, we've not had any food that contain protein. So tip number one, is start your morning with 25 to 30 grams of protein. Now, that can look like an omelette. I appreciate time-wise, it might be that you've got to rush out for work, so it could look like overnight oats. If you don't know how to make overnight oats, obviously we've only got 30 minutes, so I'll message the group. Just put it in Google overnight oats recipe. Scoop of protein. If you don't want to use protein powder, that's absolutely fine, but it is valuable. But you can have overnight oats. You can have eggs on toast. Egg white is great for protein, so it has the yolk is not a problem, but there's not that fats are a problem. So don't think that this is a problem either. When I say this, people, are, oh my God, I can't have fats. I can't. No, we can, but there's more protein in the egg white than there is in the yolk. So what we can do is buy a carton of egg white and just tip some more egg white in your omelette. As I say, you can have overnight oats. You can have porridge with protein powder on it. I make mine into like a protein whip, so it's drip, so it's like a sauce type thing what I have. So I have 30 depending on how much I need in the morning. Um, in my protein porridge, you can also have a protein smoothie. There's lots of things that we can have to make sure we get 25 to 30 grams of protein in. And also I have shared the podcast that has got loads of different recipes on as well, like loads of different stuff. But just put in Google high protein breakfast, 25 to 30 grams, that's going to help you. Number two, I've mentioned, which is tracking ahead with your calories. As I say, what you want to do is put all of your foods in for tomorrow. And I do it honestly every single night without fail. I do not miss because life's busy, life's chaotic. If I'm sitting here flapping, thinking, oh, I'm going to have this now, I'm going to have that now, I might not hit my targets. Then I've not hit my targets for the day. Why would I not want to hit my targets for the day? So put all of your foods in for the night before. Sometimes I do differ. Sometimes I live on the edge a bit and do have different lunches or whatever. If I want something different and my protein isn't at target, for example, I will reduce my rice from 100 grams to 83 grams because what we want to do is calories first. Calories are the most important thing. So don't hit your protein to go over calories. So for you to achieve a goal, the most important thing is for you to be in a calorie deficit. So if you haven't hit your target for the day, just to get your protein up, don't think, oh, I'm gonna get more in because then we're gonna go over calories, which is not still not an issue. It just means we would want to try and keep to the calorie target first. So reduce your fats and your carbs until your protein is at target. If your calories are over, obviously then you're going to need to tweak. You're going to need to tweak the macronutrients. Okay, so you're just going to need to drop some of your food somewhere, but keep your protein at target. So tracking ahead. So I always like to use that quote, fail to prepare, prepare to fail. You know, like I said, life is busy. And when we've got a script, it's far easier to follow. And the amount of people that will track their calories throughout the day, but miss half the shit that they're putting into their mouths, and it's like, oh, what did I eat then? What? Oh, have I missed that? Don't miss. Just track ahead. And I always say, guys, like if you can put your food in for the day before, it means, as I say, we've got a script, but it means we're starting our morning with intent and we're having that plan. Our goals are important to us. What are we doing? Like realistically, like I appreciate the household is different, but I guess past 9 o'clock, there is if anything, unless you're doing kids pack ups and stuff, again, we've all got different lifestyles, but 9 o'clock, we can sit and spend 10 minutes just on our phone, tracking it ahead for the following day to make sure we've got that script. Because it's harder to come off a script when we've got one. And you can buy yourself back so much time because it might be 10 minutes at night. Text me 10 minutes, text me less because now, obviously, the more you do it, I appreciate it's a bit of a ball ache tracking calories as well. But I always say it's such a small price to pay for a guaranteed investment if you're going to stick to your goals. So number three, base your meals around protein. So don't think, oh, I'm having pasta tonight. No, no, no. I'm having chicken tonight with pasta. People will go, I'm having pasta, and nothing wrong with pasta. If it fits into your calories, nothing wrong with pasta. But have a shit ton of pasta and a small little bit of chicken. So get your portion of, for example, if you don't eat chicken, I don't eat meat, so fish, whatever, tofu, corn, whatever. Base your meal around your grams of protein that you need, and then put your pasta or whatever else around that. It's going to really help you if you choose. A lot of people, and it's such a thing, so many people do it, especially if you've been Slimming World. If you've been a member of Slimming World before, it's such a thing of anything goes with that ridiculous place. So it can be just cram a load of pasta on your plate. You don't really need to, I know they tell you to think about your protein, but they don't push it as much as they should. And they're not teaching you anything. They're just telling you just to have a load of pasta on your plate, and it's not useful. It's very easy to eat, and before you know it, you're guzzling pasta down. And the protein content is very low because we've not based our meals. So base your meals around protein. The next one is double up on your protein sources. So it might be that you have, instead of one piece of salmon, have two pieces of salmon. It might be that you need a chicken breast and a half. It might be that you have, I don't know, whatever you would have, beef, I don't know, whatever you would have. Can you double up on your protein source? It will massively help you. Because sometimes, like, do you know those? I was talking to a client on a coaching call yesterday, and she started ordering those. It's not Hello Fresh, but it's something along those lines, which I think are great. I've never had them because I can't possibly come off the meals that I have every single day. It will freak me out. But I remember my sister once said to me, she says, "Oh, Leanne, I've got this discount code. You get like loads of money off this." I thought, "Oh no, I can't do that. I can't have any different meals. We can't be doing that." But I know they're great. However, they're high protein meals. They're not high protein. There's very little protein. I'd love to actually go on and grab one, but it will say 500 calories. So they're great with the calories on there, and they're great with the different variety of meals. I totally get that. I suppose it's a little bit different. It might make your guys' lives easier if you've got a family at home, or whatever. I just obviously think for myself, and the dogs get the scraps or whatever, so I don't need to really think of much. But I appreciate it might make your life easier, but try to think that with those meals, they're not that high in protein. You're looking at 15 grams. That's not a high protein meal. It's not a high protein meal. You want again 25 to 30 grams is a meal that we want to be focusing on. So anything that you kind of hear, like when you go to the shops as well, and it will be you get Weetabix high protein, and then you'll get the normal Weetabix with not high protein. There's about zero point 0.5 grams of protein extra, something ridiculous in it. So what is high protein to some is not high protein really, because you'll find you'll be trailing throughout the day if you're not getting a substantial amount of protein in your meals. Next one is protein powder. I appreciate not everyone wants to use it. It's very easy to use. You can bake with it, you can put it in your porridge, you can drink it, you can use it as the drip, which I absolutely love. You can do a lot of things with it. It's very low calorie for very high protein. And if you're low on protein and you're struggling to get it, I would strongly advise it, because how else are you going to get it? So I think Jodie was saying that because she don't eat meat. I used to be a vegetarian. I did. Um, and I got to the point where I thought, you know what, this is stopping me from moving forwards. Um, it was hindering my progress because there was a lot of carb-based stuff in there. I mean, I've had corn chicken nuggets today purely because my diet's had to change a little bit. I need a bit more carbs in my diet at the moment. So I've gone from white fish to corn chicken nuggets, which I don't really like to have because it's quite processed. But it can be like, with regards to, obviously everyone has different foods, everyone has different meals, and we've got to find what works for us, because people will end up having, and this is a thing, the protein powder, they don't like it. What you're having stuff for you don't like we don't need to go down that route because it's not sustainable. And the amount of clients that will say to me, "Oh, I'm holding my nose when I'm drinking it." No, stop doing that. We don't need to go down that route. The amount of times that people are doing stupid shit just to achieve their goals, they're not going to stick to it in 6 months' time. So we need to take a step back and go, right, do I like this food? Is this going to work for me in the next year? If it's not, you're wasting your time. So let's not do stupid shit anymore and just think, right, what we need to do is learn how to incorporate our normal life, our day-to-day food by choosing better. Because you might have come from, I don't know, a diet that hasn't been great for the last 3 years, whatever. Now we're choosing better, which is great. We've got to choose better. So we've got to start making compromises, but we can't be eating stuff we don't like. So if you don't like protein powder, don't have it, but you're going to have to find something that we do like. Whatever that looks like for you. Everybody is different. I don't believe in diet plans. So a lot of people have said to me, Leanne, or have said to me in the past, do you sell diet plans? Do you do diet plans? Can I have diet plans as part of the program? No, they're useless. They're as good as they are on this bit of paper. What do you do if I rip that up? If I say, there you go, you're on your own now, what do you do? Oh, I've not got a clue. No, because we've not learned anything. We're not educating, we're not learning anything. It's really important that we start to get this knowledge here, because whilst calories and tracking calories is boring, I'd rather be doing a million and one things, just like you guys, and tracking calories. I promise you. But it helps. It's a small price to pay, and it helps us achieve our goal. And what it does is, you guys, like Bridget. And Hannah, like in terms of, and anyone else that's on here that's a Helen, in terms of when you started, the knowledge that you had when you started on protein to now, how much has it improved? I want to hear your responses because these guys, Bridget was really struggling up until not really that long ago. It was like, oh, I can't eat my protein. I can't eat my protein. I said, yes, you can. You're choosing to not hit your protein. There's a difference. Oh, but I can't eat my protein. Yes, no, no, no. Yes, you can hit your protein. There's too much foods that we want in your diet than we need. Guess what's been happening since she's been hitting her protein? She's making so much progress and she's feeling better. She's looking better and targets are being hit. And it's one of those where it's difficult to do if we're having Rice Krispies and cornflakes in the morning and then a cheese sandwich for lunch and a packet of crisps. It's going to be difficult. Um, it's difficult if we're not choosing foods that contain protein, and that's my next tip. Have foods that actually have protein in it and start educating yourself because you'll keep this knowledge with you forever. I'm not like a walking my fitness pal, but I know quite a bit on protein and calories now because I've taught myself and I've educated myself. And there's no reason why nobody else on here can do that if you want to learn, if you want to change. Again, if you've been a Slimming World member, this is going to be a complete mind fuck for you because previously you've been eating the way that they've been telling you to eat. They want you to lose weight and go back. That's what they want to do. They want you to lose the weight and they want you to go back. They teach you, what do they teach you when you get there? Nothing. They don't teach you anything. What tools do they give you? They just tell you to step on a scale and give you a round of applause if the scales have gone down and give you a little piece of sheety paper when you've lost 7 pounds in a week because you're the biggest loser. There's nothing that they're teaching you. So if you want to learn, you can learn, but you have to start investing and start saying to yourself, right, I've been trying to achieve my goal now for this length of time. Something's not working. How can I move forward? Protein will be your number one key. Next one, obviously calorie deficit, of course. We have to stay consistent and disciplined. We're going into a whole other story there. Your next one, as I say, is planning ahead, which we've gone through, and then your snacks. So your go-to snacks are going to be really helpful for you. Greek yogurt, protein yogurts, protein bars. Yes, I appreciate there's a little bit of processedness in there. We want to be trying to watch the quality of foods that we're eating, of course. Cottage cheese. I never used to like cottage cheese. Why cottage scrim? But I've actually found that if I put certain stuff on it, it doesn't taste as bad. Now you lot are gonna freak out. I like to have mint sauce on my cottage cheese. Yeah. So I appreciate it's not for everyone. Mint sauce on my cottage cheese with rice cakes. I actually don't mind with some chili flakes. Listen, we all like what we like. I actually don't mind it. But no, as well, the one with pineapple in, I actually do like. I could eat that out of a tub. Cottage cheese is so valuable for protein. So what I will say is if you didn't like it 20 years ago, like I didn't, try it again. Because now my taste buds have changed and I do actually quite like the one with pineapple. Don't have it in my diet at the minute just because I've worked it around it, but I would have it and I don't dislike it. And it's so, so, so valuable. Obviously, if you get the low fat one, it's less calories and obviously the protein is valuable. Eggs, which we've said, obviously you can boil those, you can take them with you. You can take them with you to work or whatever you want to do. They're just a good snack to have. Um, Baby Bell. And I know again, we're looking at like I'm gonna say cheese strings here. I actually quite like a cheese string. I actually do, but it's just a protein source. Not everyone likes the 5-year-old food. I get it, but I think they're great. And then meat. So as stupid as this sounds, lots of people will think, oh, why are you eating like, I don't know, in a Tupperware, in some foil or something like that, taking meat with you somewhere. Like no one thinks twice. Like people think it's strange. And no one thinks twice when you're eating a McDonald's burger at 10:30 in the morning. But yet if you've got prepped meat, chicken, Oh, what you got that for? What you eating that for? What do you mean? Like it, like everyone will turn their nose up and frown at certain things. And a lot of people will say to me, "Well, I don't really want to take cooked meat." Don't take cooked meat then. But it's really valuable when it comes to obviously you hitting your protein target. And I will take, those again, I've really started to come off corn a lot now. I've really, really tried to come away from it. Just because I mostly like to go down the route of fish. But what I will do is for those that are vegetarians is those they're like corn like fillets. They're obviously not fillets, but they're pre-packed and they've got like sweet chili on and stuff like that. They're a good go-to to have. Just pack a couple of those of you because they're already prepped. Again, you've got the little chicken nuggety bit things that Quorn do, the southern fried or whatever, just whatever you want to take with you to get your protein up. But when we're choosing stuff like your Wotsits and you just your chocolate bar, we're just not getting any value out of the food that we're having, and it is going to mean some changes. It is going to mean you changing your diet. I don't know how old you guys. I mean, if I was still doing the journey that I was on, to me being like 42 in a month. It's the way I used to eat now. No wonder I wasn't achieving my goals. No wonder I was feeling like shit. No wonder I was squishy. No wonder I wasn't able to move forwards and my goals genuinely are my dog's snoring so loud. Woody, please stop snoring. Sorry if you can hear it. Can you hear him? It's Nod. No. It's so noisy. My goals genuinely are to, despite me being on my own journey at the minute and me having a coach and me aiming to put on some muscle. My goals are genuinely to be on that path of how I feel when I'm showing up for myself to achieve that. I don't care about the end goal. I genuinely don't care about the end goal because the version of you, who you are when you are on a healthier path, when you're eating better foods, that you've got people that become like, and my clients will say this to me now when and Helen actually said this to me, but she's been away on holiday and she said to me, I notice the difference so much when I'm no longer hitting my protein because people get so used to feeling like actual shit and it's just the norm. It's their day to day, the crashes, the mid-morning crashes, the late night snacking, the things like brain fog as well, the constant fogginess because of the foods that we're having. You've got the hormone imbalances. You're fighting yourself all day. And when you come from, and I know that you guys, those of you that have just joined, I know that you're only on day two. I know you will be feeling better for it, and there'll be things that you were noticing already. But for as long as you can continue to stick to this, you will continue to eat home a lot more than I used to. People comment on me grazing all day, but it's now the right food. Exactly. Exactly. People do comment. People have a lot to say, but yet if you sat there with McDonald's fries, do you know what I mean? No one would bat an eyelid. If you've got a grab bag of Doritos, no one would bat an eyelid because it's not the norm to people. Society's food, like I went into Morrison's 6 months ago, and this woman actually said to me, we were at the self-serve, and this woman actually said to me, "Oh, look at you. What are you on a diet for? You don't look like you need to diet." And that is what's wrong with the world because I've got obviously majority of, I guess what you could look at and think, I don't like to use the word healthy and unhealthy, but you could look at the stuff I had and think, yeah, it's all good quality food there. I said, no, this is not, I'm not on a diet. This is just my normal, but that's how people think now. People are constantly forever thinking that if you're snacking on meat, do you know what I mean? You I don't know, you're on this diet. Guys, the way that society, we're in a crisis of people just getting bigger and bigger. And you got to think to yourself, right, something has to change. I don't know about you as well. Like when I was younger, there you used to have to get in a car to go to a takeaway to get a Chinese. I mean, there's one on every single corner now. And everything has changed. And what's becoming the norm for people, again, compared to obviously the foods that we should be eating, that actually make us feel good, that help us achieve our goal. And it's a case of what do you want? Do you want to start feeling better? Do you want to start making your like dieting is hard. dieting is really difficult, but it ain't as hard if you can eat the right things to stop you from the cravings, to stop you from the crashes, to stop you from feeling like shit. Because like if you've got kids at home, like things like you feeling irritable, food and mood have such a direct link. And if we're not hitting our protein, if we're under eating on protein, we're overeating on carbs. And it's not very often people, usually if you hit your protein intake of 30%, your fats and your carbs will take care of themselves. But if you're under eating on your protein, naturally people will steer towards carbs. No, it's often people say, "Oh, I love carbs, I love carbs." Tell me someone that doesn't, but guys, we've got to stop eating like shit because it's not helping us. And again, our journey will be so much easier when we can start taking a step back, thinking, right, okay, my protein intake, I mean, if we're hitting 50 grams, respectfully again, that's really not good. It's really, really not good. We've got to start getting better. Okay. So you go into your phone tonight, right? I'm going to start doing better. I'm going to put all my foods in. If we can get it from 50 to 70, again, bearing in mind that some of you guys, this is only your second day. If we can get that from 50 to 70, winner. Then the following day, right? What did I have that was 70 grams? Because that's the highest I've got this day. Right, I had that, so I'm going to have that tomorrow. And then what am I going to do now? Oh, I'll tell you what I'm going to do because I know that's got protein. Oh, I'm going to have that for that day. Oh, I've got 90 grams now. Ta-da, we've got better. Then you go, right, hang on a minute, my protein is too low today. Right, I'm going to look at the day that I got 90 grams and I'm going to pick some food from that and I'm going to chuck it on there because I remember feeling really good that day and my cravings were minimal and I weren't late night snacking and I weren't snapping at my kids every 5 seconds. I felt my mood towards training was better. I wasn't so sluggish. I wasn't so lethargic. Now, those of you that are over 35, like we are losing, it's just facts. We start to lose muscle mass. So what we want to be doing as well is also let's just forget about the goal. Forget about the goal that you guys, majority of you on this team have joined, especially if you are um, jumped on board the 14-day challenge. It is a fat loss challenge, but I have to kind of put fat loss challenge. My goal is to help you guys to feel better and eat better. Like my goal for you isn't fat loss. I want you to start going, God, I feel so much better at the end of this 2 weeks. This is how I want to feel. Okay, so when we can start to feel better and things start to feel easier, the fat loss starts to take care of itself. I'm not even thinking about that for you guys. When there's people going to be messaging me at the end of the week, oh my God, I've not lost any weight. I don't care. I genuinely don't care because what's going to happen is when we can get this right, you're going to be able to carry it on. There's people on the program that have been saying for the last couple of days, like, I've been eating 1,200 calories. I can't eat 1,700 calories. No, you've not been eating 1,200 calories. Otherwise, you'd have been losing weight. You're eating 1,200 calories Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday is just a free for all. No one is eating 1,200 calories. If they were, they would be consistently losing weight. But you can't. It's not sustainable. So again, my goal is for you so that you can go, do you know what? God, all this time I've been getting it so wrong. And now I'm going to get it so right. Because when we get it right, we only have to do it once. That's it. People are spending years. My fucking auntie, I swear to God, and I mean this in the nicest possible way, but I seen her 2 months ago. She's the biggest I've ever seen her. She's broken her ankle. So with all like, I don't know, 4 years ago. So she's really limited mobility now, but she's so big. She's so big. She's been on a diet at Slimming World all of her life. For as long as I've been alive, I swear on my life, she has been on Slimming World all of her life. Imagine that, dieting your whole life. What? Like every single time we go out for food, I'm on a diet. That's all I hear her say. I'm on a diet. Enough. Like we've got to stop. It's just so wrong. Um, we can keep getting it wrong. We can keep getting it wrong. Or we can try and get it right. And it might mean you're having to open up to different things. And it's going to mean you're making some compromises. You can't keep having that. Do you want to make your journey easier? Yes. Okay. We can't keep having that. We're going to need to have more foods that we need over more foods that we want. And this is going to get hard. Because there's going to be times where you're probably thinking, I really don't want that today. I don't want to hit my protein. That's all right. Because it's about 80-20. And again, if for those of you that don't know, I bang on about it all the time. Like, we don't want to be 100%. We're not here to be perfect. And we're not, whilst I do hit my protein target every day now because I'm got a photo shoot in 14 weeks and a bit. Yes, I am hitting my protein every day, but prior to this, there might be a Saturday where I go out for pizza and I just want a nice pizza and a beer with my friends. And then it might be on a Wednesday. I don't know, I just want an egg and cress sandwich, and that's okay. But what we're doing on a day-to-day basis, from an 80% standpoint, 80% of our day, week, month, year, we want to be doing the things that are going to get us to our goal, that are going to lead us towards feeling our best self and healthier. And as I was saying before, like when we're over the age of 35, we start to lose muscle. Protein will build and maintain muscle mass. Without protein, it's not going to happen. And obviously, we need to be also moving our bodies and lifting. That's going to help more so. But without protein, we won't do that. So when you're 70 years old and you're sat on a chair and you need help by your grandkids because you can't get out of it, you're going to go, do you know what? Leanne was right. Leanne was telling me to eat my protein. And it's going to help you so much. So think about the long game as well. Think about the long game and how you want to be when you're older. Do you want to be like my nan, one of my nans, guys, I'll go in like literally a minute. One of my nans, like, she's 86, she just lives up the road. She's got terminal breast cancer. And I was watching her the other day. Like, she's fine. You wouldn't know anything was wrong with her. She's currently, even though she's not fine, she's fine. And she was playing with my nephew the other day. She was playing bat and ball. And the woman was actually running for the ball. Like, she's 86 years old and she has terminal breast cancer. And she's been eating great all of her life. Okay. Then my other nan, I've taken her out the house once since Christmas because she needs a hip operation. She's morbidly obese and she's been out the house twice since Christmas. What life do you want to live? She can't go out now. She's literally like housebound. And I said to her the other day, I said, I'll go shopping for you. I said, but you're getting in this car with me and you're getting in my car and I'm going to take you and I'm going to push you around in your wheelchair because I'm not having you just sit in this house. That's it. No, but she can't walk. No, so we've got to start, guys. We've got to start, thinking like, what life do I want to live? What do I want to be like when I'm 70? Think about the future. Do you want to be running around with your grandkids playing bat and ball? What my nan was doing the other day. I was looking at this woman just like, oh, this woman is my hero. Like, genuinely running. She's bending down, picking the ball up from under the sofa. My nan can't even get out of a chair. And because she's eaten shit all of her life. There's just such a bigger picture, and we have to think about that. It's really important. So don't think about what's happening in 2 weeks. I don't care whether you lose weight at the end of the 2 weeks or not. What I care about is what you take from this program and apply going forward so that your life is going to be easier. Right, guys, we're done there. Obviously, any questions, just feel free to ping me messages to the group or whatever. There's plenty of podcasts though. Feel free if there's anything that I haven't rabbited on about, most welcome. To message me. And I could do a podcast on it or on it, whatever, but just scroll through and just there's a lot on there. Like if you're hoovering, if you're walking, whatever, just think, right, what can I take from this now to start making my life easier? Because I don't want to feel like this anymore. Life's hard, but it can be so much harder if you want it to. Okay. So guys, I'm gonna go and eat. And I'll see you in class. Most welcome. I'll see you in class in the morning for those of you that are jumping on. Enjoy your dinners. Have a good evening. Goodbye.